What's up everyone, welcome to week 8 of this Zwift Build Me Up training plan. Now if you're new here, this is week 8 of 12 weeks. It's been pretty brutal. This week hasn't been too bad. There has been 3 rides and 1 gym session. However, there was a 2-hour Zwift ride, which was pretty brutal to be honest. So although it was a quiet week, I had that ride which kind of counted it out. Now, I have been pretty relaxed this week, I'm not gonna lie. The 2 weeks before, so week 6 and week 7, really took it out of me, especially week 7, because I had to do 5 rides in a row because I couldn't do any riding at the weekend. Now, probably in hindsight, that was not the best idea because coming into this week, I wasn't as motivated as I normally would be. I really wanted a rest, I really wanted a break. Now, that's a good thing about this Zwift Build Me Up plan, I guess, is that it knows what's happening. It knows it's giving you a hard week. So the next week, this week, week 8, is pretty chilled. So that's all we can ask for. And I'm feeling much more motivated now. It's just trying to juggle, balance, keep motivated, because the worst thing is to not finish. And don't get me wrong, I understand. In a 12-week period, you're going to have times where you're tired, you're going to have times where you could be ill, you're going to have times where you really want to do it and it's exciting and it's the best thing in your week. Other weeks, not so much. So this week was a not so much week, but I managed to jump on the turbo anyway and get them done. So let's have a look at the rides and see everything for the week, see progress, see totals. How are we doing, peeps? It is Monday today and I'm going to be doing a gym session. Doing a gym session today because that gives my legs even longer to recover after the 2 hard weeks that have just passed. So I'm going to do the upper body session, not going to do any legs. I might do legs next week, we shall see. But I'm going to jump straight into it. It's a lovely day, let's do it. Alright, workout complete guys. I always enjoy doing that one. Some good upper body exercises. Tomorrow I'll probably be riding, so I will see you then. Workout number 2 of the week was the Hang 10 cycling workout. Now, this wasn't too bad, or at least I didn't think it would be too bad, which seems to be a running theme throughout this whole training plan basically. I've done this on Tuesday and we can see what we basically have is like intervals. It's like a wave essentially, up and down. Now, the reason this was actually pretty difficult is because of the rest, or the lack of rest should I say, because we have, let's look at the intervals here. So you can see from here, this is 290 watts. And then we've got, for 1 minute, 245, 2 minutes. And then 338 for 1 minute. And then back down. So that section there is all one interval essentially. And what do we have? 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes, right? And then we have 2 minutes at 184, which isn't too much of a rest, to be honest. And you build that up, accumulative, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So by the 5th one, you've kind of not had any rest and it's the same effort as the first one. So that's why the Hang 10 workout was harder than it probably looks on here, to be honest. If we look on Strava, we can see it was 19.24 miles in total, an hour move time, an hour cycling, 15.98 elevation, relative effort 67, so not too bad. Strava doesn't think it was too bad, but I know better than Strava. We also had 243 watt weighted average, which is actually relatively high compared to other rides that I've done in this 12-week Build Me Up training plan. And if we look at heart rate data, for example, time spent in zones, so we didn't really go into zone 4 or 5 much, so not much in threshold. So, you know, arguably it wasn't that difficult. Maybe I'm just getting a little bit stronger, so I can stick at tempo more. So that was a Hang 10 workout, not bad at all. So workout number 3 of the week was the pedaling drills. Now, I have done this twice already in this Build Me Up training plan. And I must admit, it's really good to do. It's really good to do. The more I've done it, the more I've realised and developed the sort of pedaling stroke. Now, it sounds a bit bizarre. You might be thinking, whatever, I just pedal. But people tend to put more power on the downstroke of the pedal, which makes sense. You've got gravity on your side, you're pushing down, right? Especially if you're stood up or at a really low cadence, so you're really grinding it out, right? It does make sense. However, what this teaches you is you want to basically put pressure on the pedals the whole way round. So if you imagine one stroke, or one circle, you want to have pressure the whole way round. So not just on the down, you know, when you're at the bottom, the pull up, the push around the top, and it's actually quite hard to do. And the best way to do it is to do single leg drills. Now, this is what we've done in this workout. You unclip one leg, and then with the other leg, you basically just try and keep a perfect pressure around the circle. What happens, and I can tell you for free, is there will be a clunk, like you'll basically push down, and it's like the pressure's like a rugby ball in the circle. So you push down, pull up, which creates like a whip, but it's not very smooth when you've got one leg. So you have to kind of really adjust. You do that for 30 seconds on the other leg. And basically you just work through that like, I don't know, 6 times, 3 times on each leg, which is quite good. And then also to add to that, we do spin ups. Now spin ups are where you go from really low cadence to really high cadence. So in this case, I believe it was around 65, 70 RPM up to 110 RPM. Actually more, I think it's 115 RPM. I would actually really recommend to someone who hasn't done the pedaling drills to actually do it and see how the pedal stroke feels. Because once you do it with just one leg, you kind of, your muscle memory starts to think, oh, okay, actually I can do it like that. Whereas when both your legs are going, for example, you could push down with one, and as you pull with the other, you can basically make mistakes but compensate with the other leg. So if one leg isn't a good smooth pedal stroke, the other leg might smoothen it out. So interesting to do. I really enjoyed doing it anyway, and I would definitely recommend. So workout number 3 complete of the week. It was a pretty easy one, to be honest. 10 miles, not very taxing, 30 minutes smooth time, relative effort 18. So yeah, pretty easy basically. 200 watts average. So I did pop into threshold a couple of times. That must have been on the spin ups. So overall, a good workout. On to the next. So workout for Saturday. So I've had a bit of time in between rides. So Thursday, Friday off, and then Saturday back in the saddle. Now this ride was a beast, and this is what I'm going to show you because I want to give you a sort of true representation of what it actually was like. So you can see on screen here, we've got it right, which may look like a load of random, like different colored blocks. So what we have, zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Zone 6 is obviously the hardest, zone 1 is the easiest. So, but if you look here, we've got some peaks, and most of it is quite high. And it was also 2 hours long. 2 hours. This is the longest ride I've done in this Build Me Up training plan. So what actually happened? Well, we do our warm up, that's fine. Then bam, 10 minutes at FTP. So just to start us off, yeah, from 15 minutes to 25 minutes was at FTP. So that basically gets your legs tired. 2-minute break. And then we basically spend all this time, which is 13 minutes at 200 watts, which isn't a disaster. And then we've got this, bam, okay, 236 watts for 3 minutes, and then 20 seconds at 368, okay, so that's pretty difficult. Little break, then we do another block at 200 watts. Then this is hard, because there's no break. You can't get your heart rate down, you can't recover. Now, this is a massive part of cycling, being able to drop your heart rate and recover quick, remove the lactic acid and go again. So here, for example, I've done all this time, 13 minutes I think, at 200 watts, and then bam, straight into this. So that is straight away at 100 RPM, 368 watts for a minute, and then 2-minute break, and done that 5 times round. So 5 minutes basically at 368 watts is what I've done in that, with 2-minute breaks in between. Then another 15 minutes at 200 watts, just because. And then we had, to finish it off, another 10-minute block at my FTP, which is killer, absolute killer. This was hard. This was the first time in the whole training plan where I thought, I might not make it through this. I might not make it through this workout. I now know I can hold 10 minutes at 307 watts after an hour and 45 minutes of riding. So that's what the ride consisted of. And if we look on Strava, relative effort 166, massive relative effort apparently. So Strava even knows it was hard, and I agree. So 32 miles, 2 hours, and 3,553 foot of elevation. So let's look at heart rate. So heart rate, we spent a lot of time in threshold, 18.5%, 22 minutes, 18 seconds. So that hurt. So what a great ride that was. 2 hours in the saddle, done, complete, finished. The body felt it, but it also feels damn good to get a ride like that done and under my belt. So that was the week, 4 workouts. Let's have a look at all the totals. Okay, so as always, I'll go through the totals. I do this every week. If you're interested how I've progressed over the 8 weeks so far, do go back and check the other videos. I'll leave a link down below. So first I will look at weight. Now, as always, weight is not all about dropping weight. It's about losing fat, but building muscle. So if I stay the same, that's okay, as long as I feel an improvement within myself. However, what we've got this week is Monday. So we've got around 76.5, went up a little bit and then back down. So it's kept pretty consistent, which is understandable because this week hasn't been too intense. And not gonna lie to you, I've slipped a tiny bit on the old food consumption. I'm okay with that, but let's look at the average. We've got the average basically is 76.5 for the week, so we have gone down, but over the course of the plan so far it has been on a downwards trajectory, so that is what we want. We can see that up here actually, we can see the trend line just going down and down basically. So overall, body weight, not bad. Now let's move on to the totals for this week. Now we have 4 activities in total, so that was Monday was a workout, Tuesday ride, Friday, Saturday rides. And we have a total distance of 61 miles, 98 kilometers, 2,613 calories, 3.5 hours on the bike. FTP still at 4 watts per kilo because my body weight's dropping, so that slowly improves. Average watts for the week, 207, so that is low. Mental status, positive peeps. Feeling really good, to be honest. Can't complain whatsoever. And if we look at the totals for the plan so far, we have 712 miles ridden. Creeping up, peeps. That's 1,145 kilometers. 28,466 calories burnt, 32.5 hours ridden, 307 is my FTP, still 4 watts per kilo, and 216 average watts for the whole time. And as I said, mental status so far over the whole course of the plan, this Build Me Up Zwift training plan, is positive because I'm feeling good. So there you go, fine people, that is week 8 of the Zwift Build Me Up plan complete. If you want to see more, videos will be released every Sunday, so subscribe if you want to see more info and comment any questions you have down below. Until the next one, take care of yourselves and I will see you soon.